My heart is ready to receive. I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. Knowing that we are open, that we are here because I believe we wish to open. No matter what is in our conscious mind, part of us wants to open to all, to receive all that is possible, all that exists in this incredible reality. So I invite you to join me in saying, I am opening, I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. I am opening, I am opening, my heart is ready to receive.
Good morning. What a blessing it is to be here today. My name is Susan Niedt. I'm a practitioner here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Princeton. And we are a loving, healing, inclusive community that teaches and practices the principles of the science of mind for the spiritual growth and well-being of ourselves and the world. It's a mouthful, isn't it? And how do we do that? Well, we're here on Sundays, and next week, our beloved practitioner Regina Quince is going to work on practices, principles and practices. Principle being gratitude, practices will be taught, I'm assuming, next Sunday and worked on. So that's something to look forward to. We have a few things coming up. In January, we're going to be starting a peace meditation, so look out for that. And we're going to kick that off, of course, with our annual John Randolph Price Global Peace Meditation on December 31st. So that's early in the morning. We're lucky because some people in the world have to do it at 2 in the morning and 3 in the morning because everybody does it at the same time. It's a gift. It's a blessing. How else do we support this process and this enterprise that we call Centers for Spiritual Living Princeton? We have practitioners. And I'm going to share with you that I'm a practitioner, and I have not one, but 2 practitioners that I work with. And it is a gift and a blessing. So if there's any spiritual growth or any issue that you're working on, something that you want to move towards, I suggest working with a practitioner. And we are blessed to have 6 of them here. So you have a wonderful choice. Or try them out. See what works for you. Everybody has their own style. So that is a gift that we have to give to you as well. Are there any other? No, I guess that's it. So those are our announcements. Thank you for being here today.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed.
you to close your eyes, take a nice deep breath, and just think of the many blessings that you have in your life. As we just passed through our gratitude-rich ritual Thanksgiving, expressing gratitude for all those blessings, just take a moment and feel that peace and love that comes from feeling blessed. And I'll do an affirmative prayer, knowing that there is one life, and that is a blessing. It is spirit expressing itself here and now, as each one present, as everything in the world, seen and unseen. It is the one power, the omnipresent good. And each one here accepts and recognizes their union with this one power, this one presence, this creative force for goodness, and accepts blessings and knowing that blessings are infinite. Infinite blessings, infinite life, infinite goodness. And each one here allows, through opening to this presence, that divine guidance, show them the way. Particularly as this wonderful season of life continues, the season of light, that each one is stepping into the light, feeling that presence, that love, that guidance, and knowing that the blessings continue now and forever. This is the truth. I'm grateful that I know this truth. I release it to the law that always says yes. And so it is.
And so it is.
And now, Rich, thank you for your devotional music.
Everywhere is holy ground, for I walk in love. Everywhere is holy ground, for the power and the presence of your spirit makes my path gentle and easy. Gentle, easy, gentle, easy. Everywhere I am is holy ground, for I walk in joy. Everywhere I am is holy ground, for the power and the presence of your spirit makes my path gentle and easy. Gentle, easy. Gentle, easy. Everywhere I am is holy ground, for I walk in peace. Everywhere I am is holy ground, for the power and the presence of your spirit makes my path gentle and easy. Gentle, easy. Gentle, easy. And now presenting one and only spiritual leader and licensed practitioner, Mr. Jon.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm Jon Heron, and I'm a licensed practitioner here at CSL Princeton. I don't know what it means that I'm licensed to practice. I'm licensed to practice. It just means that I've made a commitment in my life to live by the deepest truth that I know how to live according to the teachings of the science of mind, and to share that. So I wanted to tell you a little story. Our subject today is, what is your center for spiritual living? So this week I had, as Susan mentioned before, she works with different practitioners, and I have prayer partners, right? We meet and we talk for usually almost an hour. We share what's going on and we pray for each other. And one of my prayer partners this week is going through some challenges with her family and all that kind of stuff. And she said to me, but I'm really staying conscious and trying to focus on what's the lesson for me to learn, right? That's one of the aspects we know about this teaching. Spirit comes at us in infinite ways, right? And sometimes those ways are not the most fun ways in the world, right? And I was moved to say, and she said, I'm paying attention. I'm learning the lesson that's there. And I said, yeah, but there's something missing. And what's missing is when the lesson comes up, to refer it back to the fact that Spirit lives within us. And what this teaching offers is for us to live a life in peace and in joy and in love and those things. So it's not just about, I know what the lesson is, it's also about allowing the healing process or the process to resolve that and to refer it back to the center of loving that lives in each one of us. And in each one of us, it's different, right? And that's what I mean when I call what's your center for spiritual living, right? And each one of us has that, right? It is different, as I said, with each one of us. And I think that the practice that we do, the spiritual practice, is, at least in the beginning, to find out what is my center for spiritual living. Because for some of us, it's knowing peace. For some of us, it's that loving lives inside of me. For some of us, it's joy, right? And maybe during our lives, it changes because we grow. We resolve, certain things show up. We refer them back to our center for spiritual living, to Spirit, and they get healed, although we don't really believe in healing, because we believe that we are perfect, whole, and complete now. So that is an important thing for us in our practice to remember. We are perfect, whole, and complete now. And when we experience what the world presents to us, that's the time to go, oh, yeah, I'm getting the lesson. Now where's the add Spirit to it? Add Spirit to it if you're not already there, right? I know for myself, most of you know I was affected by a flood. It's now 3.5 years ago, right? My house was destroyed. I was living in somebody else's space. And I remember at the time, I started noticing that what I was missing by not being in my own space was I felt the lack of security and comfort. Right? I never thought about it before my house was gone, right? I felt really insecure and really uncomfortable. Well, I'm a practitioner, right? I have committed to myself to refer everything back to my center for spiritual living. So I really spent that year after that thinking about, what do I mean by home? What's home to me? And it really deepened my experience of who I am, and I became, I hope, a better practitioner. And all that means to me is that my consciousness, I've learned how to come from a deeper place within myself, right? And so even on the days when I wake up in the morning and I'm grumpy or whatever, I can refer back to that because I know that that's true. And we're going to, a little later, we're going to explore that. And isn't that what step one of a treatment is? All of us here know a little bit, or more than a little bit, about treatment. Isn't that what step one of a treatment is? Referring back, recognizing, however we're feeling in that moment, that the truth is this. And then step two is, oh, if the truth is this, then I'm that truth. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about that idea that each of us has a center for spiritual living that is alive within us, whether we're conscious of it or not, at any particular moment. So one of the books that I go back to often, I'm always reading Ernest Holmes' writings to understand, is there a deeper truth that's here, other New Thought writers, but for whatever reason, the Gospel of Thomas, which is one of the Gnostic Gospels, didn't get included in the Bible for lots of reasons, and you can Google that and look it up. But there were more than just the 4 Gospels that ended up in the Christian Bible, right? Now, what's interesting about the Gospel of Thomas is it makes me ask questions. It doesn't tell me things, it gives me questions because it's very mystical. And I just love that about it. One thing that has surfaced for me is that part of my center for spiritual living is always be in a place of asking. My way of expressing it is life is not an exclamation point, it's a question mark. And that's how I keep going deeper, or I at least practice to go deeper in my spiritual life by constantly asking, is there more? Is there more? Is there a deeper center for spiritual living within me? Because remember, like I said at the start, this whole thing, all of this practice that we do, is so that we can be happier, that we can have more love, that we can experience, and not only that we can have it, but we become a center of loving and happiness. And wherever we are, there's love and happiness. The world is full of anger and other things. I know David's probably watching from home because he's heard me say this many, many times. In this time when there are a lot of angry people, and there are lots of reasons to be angry, I don't want to add to the anger. I want to know that my center for spiritual living is peace. And I'm so grounded in that peace that where I am, there's peace. That's what I think this practice is about. It's not just for each one of us. It's for the world's center for spiritual living. And the more of us that do that, the more we bring the peace to the world. Right? I know that there's an idea out there that we have a responsibility to respond to some of the apparently awful things that are happening in the world, right? And if we don't respond, and if we don't act on the level of acting, if we don't get angry, then we're not doing it right. I have friends who believe that, I know. If that person voted for that person, I'll never talk to them again. Even though that person might be a close friend. The person might be a relative. All right, I understand that mentally, and I appreciate the need to be there. But what this teaching is about is that there is a center for spiritual living, and that's the world's center for spiritual living. And the world may not be paying attention to that. We know Ernest Holmes talked about the human race beliefs, and if we don't choose our own beliefs, well, we get swept up in the ocean of beliefs that the whole human race has, right? This teaching is about choosing. It's about choosing our beliefs. And that choosing, as I said a minute ago, my own personal practice is Life is not an exclamation point, it's a question mark. So the choosing is to question for me. I look at it and I look at the anger going on around me and I ask, okay, I know that there's a deeper truth here. How can I be more grounded in that truth so that I'm a support of loving and peace to everybody around me? So, the reason why I referred to the Gospel of Thomas, I wanted to read this. This is something that I've been reading lately. I find it so inspiring. And by the way, as practice for me, it's one of those things I think is really important for us. Yes, we read Ernest Holmes's teachings because our practice is the science of mind. And that gives us a framework within which to practice. And I find that I'm very inspired by hearing these teachings through other views, through other lenses, right? So here's somebody in the first century after Jesus' death who wrote this, right? And this is a commentary on one of the things. By the way, it is in the book called The Gospel of Thomas by Jean-Yves Leloup. Very good book. The commentary is really inspiring. Anyway, he says, and this applies as much to our teaching as it does to the teaching that's expressed in the Gospel of Thomas. This teaching is not a system, not another ideology through which we are to interpret and understand the world. On the contrary, it means opening our eyes to what we are already looking at. Right in front of us, not searching somewhere else. Right? Isn't this what Ernest Holmes taught us? We are that. We are that already. And so when the world calls us and says, that person, I hate that person. That person, I can't believe that person did that thing. We separate ourselves, right? But the teaching is that there's only one. It means opening our eyes to what we are already looking at right in front of us, not searching somewhere else. The truth of it, as I said before, I understand when people say, you gotta be angry, you gotta fight. I really get that. I'm Jewish. I get that, right? We saw what happened in World War II. And there is a deeper place that we can come from. Heaven, the kingdom, God, whatever you want to call it, and all of my highest good are here where I am. Now, not tomorrow, not when I sit down and do my meditation, but here and now. So imagine for a minute, if we really could have that attitude as we walk through our lives. Right here and now, whatever that is, heaven, God, our highest good, is here with us. And we really embodied that. And we walked around in the world. One of the things that I really love about our teaching is we see Jesus, not in the way a lot of Christian churches do, as something separate. He's the example of what it would look like if we really lived this teaching at the deepest level, right? He walked around in the world and he was such love that somebody touched the hem of his garment and was healed. I saw a point, I don't remember where I saw it. Do you think Jesus stopped and did a treatment when that happened? He was just in that consciousness, the reason why we do treatment. He was already in that consciousness and lived in it, so anybody who was around him experienced that. Meister Eckhart said, the eye with which I see God is the eye with which God sees me. One eye, one vision, one knowledge, one love. Things are not hidden in themselves, they're open. The veils hiding them are in the habits of our own vision, right? So what we're doing in our practice is clearing the vision, right? Cleaning our glasses. There are days when I walk around and suddenly I realize, oh my God, take a look at that. You know, what clarity would I have seen if I'd cleaned my glasses before, right? Now we're talking about cleaning our glasses of our minds, of our hearts, of every part of our consciousness, so that our center for spiritual living, who we are in the deepest place inside of us, is the lens through which we see everything. Ernest Holmes said in one place, I remember when I read it and went, ooh, that's as clear a statement as there can be. What we're looking for is what we're looking with and looking at, right? No separation. There's our center for spiritual living. And I will refer that back to this place, Center for Spiritual Living, Princeton. Why do we come here on a Sunday morning? For those of you who are watching at home, why? Because who we really are is love and peace and joy. We all know that list that Troward gave us. Right? We are that. We are it now. It's not what I experience from day to day, often, right? But there are moments when it gets clearer, and the more I do my spiritual practice, well, let me put it this way. My reason for making sure to do my spiritual practice as often as I can is so that I get closer to that. I let go of the things that are blocking, that confusion through which I see the world, right? And I get a little closer. I'm not actually getting closer to anything. I'm removing the things that are in the way of me experiencing joy and love and all of that stuff. We deserve that. That's something I know, I think in our culture often we're not taught that we really deserve to be happy. All of us. And the fact that we're not should make us sit down and go, why? Right? The fact that it doesn't make us sit down and go, why, is what the human race consciousness is all about, right? So, I wanted to read a couple of things, and then we're going to do a little exercise, a little back and forth, workshop kind of stuff. I came across this statement by the Dalai Lama, and I just love it. He said, we can reject everything else, religion, ideology, all received wisdom, but we cannot reject the necessity of love and compassion. This then is my true religion, my simple faith. In this sense, there is no need for temple or church, for mosque or synagogue, no need for complicated philosophy, doctrine, or dogma. Our own heart, our own mind is the temple. Right? There's that teaching again. It lives within us. Our own heart, our own mind is the temple. The doctrine is compassion. Love for others and respect for their rights and dignity, no matter who or what they are. Ultimately, these are all we need. Right? So I'll bring you back again. Imagine yourself, imagine myself walking around in the world with that consciousness. That love and compassion live within me, and I'm there in that consciousness. And yeah, the craziness goes on, and I go to the store and somebody gets in line in front of me and I grumble and you know, I'm driving and the usual stuff. The person is driving 25 miles an hour in a 50-mile-an-hour zone, right? I will say that more and more, as I do my spiritual practice, it's not that those things don't happen, but it's that I get right back to remembering that there's only one. There's no separation. There's no inside, there's no outside. There's one. And that one is love, and that one is peace. And if there's only one, then I am that. There's step 1 and 2 of treatment. Right there. Emerson said, every person is a doorway through which the infinite passes into the finite, through which God becomes human, through which the universal becomes individual. You are to believe with utmost simplicity and with complete faith that there is a pattern of your being or a real spirit of you which is as eternal as God, as indestructible as reality, and as changeless as truth. This pattern is seeking to manifest through you, right? The universe, we sometimes say the universe says yes. Well, what does that mean? That love, which I believe the whole universe is created out of love, right? Edmund Curtis Hopkins used to say, don't say, my God is my good. Say, my good is my God. If love is my good, the universe is created out of that. This pattern is seeking to manifest through you. It is ready. We are already there, but we don't know that we're there. It's trying us. All it's waiting for is me to say yes. Me to go do whatever I need to do to open my heart. A teaching that I used to follow years ago, the teacher used to say, if somebody asked him, well, how many times do I need to keep doing this, opening my heart? Yeah, he used to say, one more time, then you close it. Right? I need to open my heart one more time, then I close it. So Emerson, this pattern is seeking to manifest through you. Back of it is all the will and purpose of the universe, all the irresistible laws of being. Finally, it will win. It is because it is there that you have these irresistible urges, right? Why do we come here? The same question I asked in the beginning. Why do we come here on Sunday morning? Why do we read Emerson? Why do I read the Gospel of Thomas? There's something in me that tells me that there is more. And I want that more. That's the reason to do spiritual practice. That's why it's so important to do spiritual practice. And to go back to what Susan said before, that's the reason to work with a practitioner. When you are first learning to ride a bike, you have training wheels. In some senses, practitioners are like training wheels for you, right? They already know how to keep you solid. And they'll know the truth for you until you know it for yourself. That's why you go and work with a practitioner. So, all of this is interesting. It's the concept. It's the idea that's at the basis of this teaching. It's the center for spiritual living of each one of us. And we've been talking about that's step 1 and 2 of a treatment, right? Knowing what the truth is, and knowing if that's one truth, then I'm that. You're that. Each one of us is that. So I would just like to, here we are, gathered together. This is the Center for Spiritual Living Princeton today. And those of you who are online or maybe watching this in the future, this is the Center for Spiritual Living Princeton. What is it today? I know for me, I would say recently, I've been very, very aware that there is a peace which is beyond anything that the world can shake or change or anything. And that somewhere inside of me, not somewhere inside of me, that peace lives. I'm not yet quite in touch with it, but it keeps calling me, right? Won't let me go. That's a blessing. Won't let me go. So I want to ask those who are here, what calls you? What's your center for spiritual living? Regina, if you put it in a few words, what would be your center for spiritual living? And I'm going to write it down.
Well, my center for spiritual living is a knowingness that spirit, and I call spirit divine, lives in me, guides me, supports me, and creates and co-creates a joy in me to be of service, to do the action, and receive the good.
That's great. Susan, what would you say is yours?
There's an ever opening to the truth of my beingness. So I'm always listening and being guided, following that guidance, that I can move from greater good to the greatest good, and in so doing, also serve mankind in that process.
Okay. Jeff, what would you say is yours? Make it short, because I'm trying to.
Were we a little wordy?
It is a magnificent
Well,
love light.
loud enough for everybody to hear, please.
It is a magnificent love light that is forever and continuously emerging.
Great. Great. Would anybody else like to share with them? I'd love to hear yours.
I would say that it's what I experience when I slow down and breathe, be still. I know that I am God.
Wonderful. Would anybody else like to add something to that? Gary, what about you?
For me, it starts with community, and I mean genuine community, not the craziness that we talked about, the human race consciousness. I'm talking about the fact that underneath it all, we're here together.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Anybody else like to share? Would you like to share?
Well, it's you know, they asked the famous bank robber Willie Sutton why they rob banks. He said that's where they keep the money. And I come here because this is where I'm just going to say we make a big deal of it. We make a big deal of spirituality and connection. And throughout your week, if you run into anybody, their minds aren't there. And when we come here, our minds are there, hopefully. And I feel that, and it helps me get through the week.
Would anybody else like to share? Scott? Yeah.
Well, I can't really add anything to, everybody.
No, this is about you.
But it's about, but that's what I'm saying. It's all of these things are in me, and also I know there's much more within me than I am at this time experiencing or allowing to happen. So a lot of my is getting out of the way.
Getting out of the way.
So I've been reading Castaneda's Dhamma, and some of the language seems contrary to what you would normally think of, but he talks about a sorcerer being ruthless. But I think it's being ruthless with yourself to not succumb, and the other thing is self-pity. So getting rid of self-pity, and so ruthlessness with that.
Yeah. One of the things that Emma Curtis Hopkins, used to say, a spiritual practice, when something that you don't like comes at you, This too is good, this too is God, this too is for me, and I demand to see the blessing, right? That demand is exactly, I think, what you're talking about. Anybody else have anything they would like to add to that? Would you like, Lori?
For me, it's the realization that such thought exists and not knowing exactly where I'll go with it. But it's a new thought.
New thought, that's why we call it new thought. Yeah. That's great. New thought. Okay, if anybody at home would like to add anything about it, you can put it in the comment section. Gary is watching the comments in case you have anything. So meanwhile, while we're waiting to see if there's any others, I hope, so talking about our Center for Spiritual Living, there's another piece of this talk that I was going to do, but we're coming to the end. I'll do it another time. And that is, so if Center for Spiritual Living Princeton is a gathering of people with this, and I'm going to read through this really quickly. Is there anything that anybody put there, Gary?
Not yet.
Okay, well, we'll move on, and this is a process that you can continue with. But there's a question in my mind. First, I want to just do this, and then I'm going to state this question, and then we're going to move on. Susan's going to do a meditation for us. So, who we are today, who the Center for Spiritual Living Princeton is today, is we are a living knowingness, filled with joy to be of service. And we are guided from within. We are magnificent love light. We are the stillness and the knowingness. We are genuine community. We make a big deal of spirituality. We get out of the way and we realize that there are new thoughts. And we constantly listen to those new thoughts. And there are many other things. That is what Center for Spiritual Living Princeton is today. And my personal belief is we're like a battery of spiritual power, right? And if we continue doing this work, we will grow, and so will the world. And so will Princeton, right? And that's our reason for coming together, I believe. For each of us to grow and to be the presence of love in the world. Presence of peace and power and service and magnificent love light and all of that. So I'm going to leave you with a question. If this is what CSL Princeton is, we're not going to answer this question now, but I'd love you to think about it. What would you like CSL Princeton to look like in order to more fully be these things? Right? So that is where I'm going to leave things, and Reverend Rich is going to bring us together with a song, and then Susan's going to do a meditation for us.
Okay. When we were talking about what song should it be, I was looking at, Susan had written a synopsis for what John's going to talk about, I think, right? Anyway, I said it can only be one song, and there's only love. In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am. When all fear and worry fall away from me, I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that is what will set us free. There is only love. When I lose
then I go inside and quiet my mind. I can hear Spirit gently sing, there is only love, there is only love, love that heals, love will set us free. There is only love, there is only love, there is only love, love that heals, love will set us free. There is only love.
So I'm going to guide you through a meditation. And this meditation is based on the Metta Bhavana, a Buddhist tradition. And there will be several lines, and each one ends with either I am free or they are free. And at that moment, I will invite you to take pause and just consider the words that I speak or that I spoke. So let's find that spot where we feel that support, that love of spirit. The chair is an expression of the light, the divine love that is spirit. So we feel that support. And just focus on our breath for a moment. That is the breath of life. That is the breath of love. And we can settle into that loving sensation, knowing that all is well, and knowing that life is a gift, that life is a blessing. I know there is one infinite truth in the universe, and this truth is love. Since there is only one, then every form in the universe is that one love. I am this love, and so is everyone else. I am free. Therefore, I know this. My heart is filled with loving kindness. I love myself. I am happy. I am well. I am peaceful. I am free. All beings near me are happy. They are well. They are peaceful. They are free. All beings in my city are happy. They are well. They are peaceful. They are free. All beings in my state are happy. They are well. They are peaceful. They are free. All beings in my country are happy. They are well. They are peaceful. They are free. All beings on my continent are happy. They are well. They are peaceful. They are free. All beings on planet Earth are happy. They are well. They are peaceful. They are free. My relatives are happy. They are well. They are peaceful. They are free. My friends are happy. They are well. They are peaceful. They are free. Those who are not my friends or relatives are happy. They are well. They are peaceful. They are free. All beings in the universe are happy. They are well. They are peaceful. They are free. If I have hurt anyone knowingly or unknowingly in thought, word, or deed, I ask for forgiveness. If anyone has hurt me knowingly or unknowingly in thought, word, or deed, I extend my forgiveness. May all beings everywhere, whether near or far, whether known to me or unknown, be happy. May they be well. May they be peaceful. May they be free. I fully accept this truth, knowing that it is already so, and so it is. And so this beautiful meditation, I have a copy for each of you to take at the end of this celebration, if you would like to use this as part of your practice. And I think the wonderful thing about it is you can morph the words so they speak to you. And now that that is done, we're going to go into our gratitude ritual. And a very funny thing happened on the way to the forum. I was driving here and realized I had about 20 miles left, needing gas. Knowing I had about 6 more miles to get here, I was a little concerned, so I did a quick treatment that the gas station would appear. And of course, there it was. And as I'm getting gas, I'm saying thank you to Spirit, and all of a sudden, Spirit starts streaming these words into me, which I very quickly tried to say out loud into my phone. And I did not edit this. This is the words that came through about this practice and this season. So let's see. Words from Spirit today. This holiday season, I invite you to pay attention to your thoughts and reactions during this wonderful season of giving and receiving. How are you feeling purchasing gifts? Are you feeling rushed? Are you worried about money? Are you open-hearted? Are you calm? Are you loving? Are you confused and uncertain? How are you feeling about receiving? Somebody gives you a very expensive gift. Do you automatically think, oh, you shouldn't have? If you don't like a gift that you receive, do you feel awkward? Let's just consider this. Giving is open-heartedness. It is a loving gesture. So just consider that as you give or as you decide what to give. And gracious receiving is heart opening. And the circle of giving and receiving is a gift, a blessing. It puts us in the flow of the law of circulation, the law of giving and receiving. So thank you, Spirit, for these words. And with that being said, this is our opportunity to be in participation of the law of giving and receiving. Whether you choose to give a monetary gift or a simple blessing to our center, all will be received graciously and with open heart.
grateful, 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 I'm grateful, 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 yes, grateful, 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 grateful.
Thank you all, and just a reminder, for those of you that are not here, you can go to cslprinceton.org and you can participate in the gratitude ritual. In joy and gratitude, these gifts are accepted, knowing that the Center for Spiritual Living Princeton is guided, guarded, and protected, and completely financially supported in all of its activities. We are here for you. Thank you.
And so with that, we are the Center for Spiritual Living Princeton, and we are each a Center for Spiritual Living. And so in that truth, I know this truth for those who are participating here today, for those who are participating at home or who might watch this in the future. There really is only one. And that one really is infinite blessing. It is grace. It is the all good. And it is present in, as, and through everything. It has created everything and continues to create in every moment. And since it's everything, it is everyone who is participating in any way in this service. And so I know that everyone is that blessing. Everyone is grace, and I know that grace flows in, as, and through each one, physically, in every aspect of the physical bodies of each one. And so each one is well. Each one experiences healing. And I know that each one, it is also present as our minds and our thoughts. And so each one is now knowing the thoughts of this one truth, infinite grace, infinite blessing. And I fully accept that that infinite grace and infinite blessing is now appearing as love, as peace, as joy in the hearts and minds of each one who participates. And so, fully accepting this truth, knowing that it is true, I release it to the law. And the law says yes, because that's the only thing the law can do. It says yes. And I fully accept this. I release it. It is done, and so it is.
That's it. Amen.